Peter King there among a group of Republicans calling for that Boston bombing suspect to be considered an enemy combatant. That means he would not have the same constitutional protection as a regular citizen with regard to what he says as the investigation moves forward. Will this happen? California Congressman Adam Schiff is a senior member of the Intelligence Committee. Congressman, always good to see. I know that you disagree with Congressman King, and you think that the suspect who's in custody is entitled to his Miranda rights. Why?
Well, I think the administration is handling it exactly correct, and that is there is a public safety exception under Miranda that allows law enforcement to interview him to make sure there aren't other bombs, other threats, other perpetrators that are still out there. That gives the law enforcement some flexibility to do that prior to Miranda, and I think a court is going to interpret that very broadly and give them the time they need to make sure that the public is safe. But after that, he will have to be Mirandized. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the end of cooperation, but there's no basis yet, I think, to conclude that they should be treated as enemy combatants. We're talking about an American citizen on American soil. There's no evidence that I've seen yet that they were part of an al-Qaeda cell or directed by a foreign government. We're very far afield from a situation which is sort of the paradigm for enemy combatant status, and that is someone captured on the battlefield in a theater of war. So I think we should resist these hasty calls to treat him as an enemy combatant. The criminal courts have proven time and time again very capable of supporting a terrorist prosecution, and I'm confident the Justice Department, with all the evidence we've seen and a lot more we haven't, can build a very strong case.
Congressman, at this point, we do know that the older Zarniev brother, we do know that he traveled to Russia from January to July of last year. Chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, Texas Congressman Mike McCall, he talked about that trip on CBS this morning. Take a listen.
What was he doing over there for 6 months? So when he comes back, one of the first things he does is puts up a YouTube site that has radical jihadist rhetoric on that website. And then, of course, 9 months later, pulls off the largest attack on American soil, terrorist attack, since 9/11.
Congressman, does the intelligence that you've seen indicate that he became radicalized while in Chechnya, or was it here when he was living in the United States?
You know, I don't think we really have a good sense yet, and we're going to be pouring through any kind of signals intelligence. There are countless interviews going on about people that knew these brothers, both in the United States and overseas, what was involved in that trip, who they may have associated with. This may be a case of, again, really of self-radicalization in the sense that this older brother felt very alienated, had no American friends, and was searching for an identity and went back to Chechnya and found an identity. But whether there was actually foreign direction in that, whether this was really more the product of his self-motivation, we just don't know at this point, but you can bet we're going to find out, and this is going to be a top priority, not only to get at what these brothers' motivation was and whether they had any foreign direction, but also to find out were there things that we missed when the FBI went out and did that original interview, when the Department of Homeland Security was considering the citizenship application. Were there some signs that we missed? You can better believe the Intelligence Committee, we're going to be poring over that.
Any idea how much information, how much specific information we are going to be able to glean from the formal criminal complaint when it's filed either later today or tomorrow?
I think we'll learn a great many things about some of the preparation that went into the attack, what the role of the brothers was. Right now, we have very little idea that's been released publicly about what one brother did as opposed to another brother. So it will shed a lot of light. And just, Craig, to push back a bit on the point that was raised earlier by my colleague, Mr. King, we have to be very careful not to stigmatize an entire community in America on the basis of the actions of two despicable people, and I think we need to be very careful about that. We'll follow the facts wherever they lead. That's what our law enforcement and intelligence agencies will do, but let's not draw any broad conclusions that would stigmatize an entire people.
California Congressman Adam Schiff, we will leave it there, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Craig.